Hey everybody, what's going on? Keith Niebuhr with Gators Online and On3 to break down Florida's newest commitment, and it's a big one. It happened Monday around lunchtime as four-star defensive back Wardell Mack of Louisiana gave his pledge publicly to the Florida Gators. And Billy Niebuhr and company have to be extremely ecstatic over this verbal. You're talking about a top 100 national recruit out of Louisiana. He can play corner, he can play safety. Now, we've done our checking on this, and Florida absolutely is bringing Mack in to play corner. But I only mention that he can play safety because that's the type of versatility he has. So, big pickup for the Florida Gators on Monday. Wardell Mack is commitment number 22. And with this commitment, Florida moved from number 4 up to number 3 in the On3 recruiting team rankings, jumping Alabama. So right now you have Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2, Florida number 3, Alabama number 4, and Florida State number 5. So, you look at that top group, and Florida's in some very good company here, especially coming off of a losing season. So Billy Niebuhr and his staff are continuing to do an outstanding job. This hot streak started in mid-June. Remember at that time, after a decommitment from four-star running back Chauncey Bowens, who flipped to Georgia, the Gators had 7 commitments. Now, as I just said, up to 22. Florida was outside of the top 10 back then. Florida now is solidly in the number 3 position, although, if Alabama picks up a big commitment, it could leapfrog Florida. The bottom line is Florida's positioning itself well for a strong top 10 class and very well could finish in that top 5. So another big commitment for Florida. We're going to get into what kind of player Florida is getting in Wardell Mack right now. I'm going to turn it over to my coworker at Gators Online, Corey Bender. Take it away, Corey.
Yeah, Keith, this is a big-time commitment for the Florida Gators. With Wardell Mack, he's a top 20 player overall, the number 3 cornerback overall on 3. And this is a kid with really good length, real physical at the line of scrimmage, does a good job of bouncing guys off the route at the line of scrimmage as well. And I think the biggest thing that a lot of people question is his overall top-end speed. That's one thing that's kind of been brought up in the past, and, his ball skills as well. But though you kind of look at the whole big picture of Wardell Mack, it's a top 20 prospect regardless position. To me, the word that comes to mind when I hear that is elite. So obviously, like any kid in high school, there's things he has to improve on. But I think having a guy like Corey Raymond, who's arguably the best DB's coach in America, you definitely are going to get that help and then some once you get to Gainesville. So, this is a versatile kid who can kind of play all over the secondary. He's physical, really good length, and I think his best football is ahead of him. And if I'm a Florida fan, I'm definitely head over heels about this commitment.
All right, great stuff from Corey Bender of Gators Online. I'm Keith Niebuhr, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the class as a whole now. Again, Florida with 22 commitments, 4 of them are defensive backs. And you've got Xavier Filsaime of Texas. He's a 5-star, number 28 recruit overall in the country. He's a safety. You've got another safety, 3-star Josiah Davis of Georgia, a player with great height and length that Florida really likes on that back end. So those are your 2 safety commitments, Filsaime and Josiah Davis. Now, cornerback, you now have 2 commitments as well. In addition to 4-star Wardell Mack, who Florida picked up today, you've got 3-star Teddy Foster out of Sarasota Cardinal Mooney. Now, this is an exciting player because he's kind of raw. He hasn't been a football first guy until very recently, but he's got that length that defensive backs coach Corey Raymond loves. He's close to 6'2". He's about 180 pounds. He's got a relative that played defensive back in the Big Ten, so he's getting good private coaching down there in Sarasota. So promising recruit there. So again, 2 corners and 2 safeties committed. Is Florida done in the secondary? Well, maybe, maybe not. The Gators continue to recruit some other players. If they're going to add one more in the secondary, it would be a cornerback, okay? It would be a corner. And what we're looking at right now is the number 1 target on the board at cornerback probably is a guy named Zay Mincy out of Daytona Beach, Maryland. Now, Zay Mincy is someone who Florida has been the projected leader for some time in the On3 recruiting prediction machine. But lately, there's been a little bit more chatter about Miami. Also, Alabama squarely in the mix as well. So 3-team race for Zay Mincy. When could we see a decision from him? Well, that's anyone's guess. He's talked at some points about maybe doing it late August, early September. There's also some chatter out there that he may drag it into the end of the year. So again, 4 commitments for Florida in the secondary. Might take 1 more. It's going to have to be an elite guy. Overall, Florida's sitting at 22 commitments. They don't have many spots left. I mean, technically, you can sign as many as you want. This is the second year of an NCAA deal, thanks to COVID, where you can sign well above the normal limit. You can go as high as you want. You just can't go over 85 total. So what a lot of schools are doing is, hey, we're going to sign 20 to 25 guys and leave some spots available for after the season to see who emerges in the transfer portal. And we suspect Florida is going to do the same thing. So look for the Gators to sign, 25, 26, 27 high school guys and leave spots leave spots open for kids that may enter the portal following this upcoming season. So again, big commitment on Monday. Wardell Mack, 4-star defensive back. He's a corner, All-American, going to the Florida Gators. That gives Florida 22 commitments and the number 22 overall class in the On3 recruiting team rankings. Huge day for the Florida Gators. Make sure you go to gatorsonline.com to get all of the latest on this commitment, who could be next to commit, what this commitment means for Florida, what they're saying on social media. And then also, don't forget, Florida's right in the middle of preseason camp. We've got a ton of intel every day from our team writers, Zach and Nick. So thank you very much. I'm Keith Niebuhr. Everybody take care.